Last time on Out Chasing Stars, we did something a bit different to wrap up our time in Indonesia, going over 10 thoughts we had after cruising the country for over 100 days. We talked about everything from provisioning to internet access to hopefully help all of you following in our wake. With our time in Indonesia coming to a close, we were super excited for our next adventure. Hey, we've got something kind of exciting going on today, don't we?
We do! We're leaving Indonesia.
Oh my goodness, we have been here for so long.
Yeah, Starry Horizons has been here for 103 days.
That kind of blows my mind that that's the longest we've been in any country not for cyclone season or boat work.
Yeah, because we spent longer in Australia or New Zealand when we were there for cyclone seasons.
Okay, so we have to leave. We're going to Singapore, but
Yes.
That means we have to cross one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world, the Singapore Straits. It is just a steady parade of ships, 24/7.
Yeah. So we can actually see Singapore. The skyline is on the horizon. It's about 30 miles away.
Yeah.
So let's talk strategy for how we're going to get there.
Yeah, I think that's going to be important today.
Yeah. We are here in Bintan, Indonesia, on the north side, which is a clearance port and a ferry terminal right over there. So from Indonesia, we can see the ship channel right over here. We're going to cling to these northern islands. We're going to stay close to the coast of Bintan and Batam. And then as we get closer into Singapore, there is a section here which is called a cross-traffic zone. And that is an area where boats can run perpendicular to the line of traffic, going east-west, so we will be going south to north. And that actually crosses right over east of Sentosa Island, which is where we're going. Now we will have to go a little bit further west to get to the customs clearance area, but it's a pretty good cross-traffic zone for us. So that's going to be our target. And the entrance to the cross-traffic zone is about 25 miles away.
All right.
All right. Sound good?
I think that's as good as it's going to get.
I think so too. Minimal time actually in the traffic on the ship channel. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Let's get those engines fired up then.
Sounds good. Vroom vroom.
Yeah, you always say that, don't you?
I like it when our engines start up. Power.
It may have been a bit daunting contemplating how to cross the Singapore Straits, but getting the anchor up, that's a procedure we have down to a fine science. The previous night, almost all the rally boats had cleared out of Indonesia, so we had quite the crowd on the move with us. We are still on the Indonesian side of the strait right now, making pretty good progress so far. There are a bunch of other boats from our rally kind of doing the same thing, so we've got lots of other people going the same way. Most of them are going to Malaysia rather than Singapore, but since I am sitting inside, I am watching our AIS display. I thought it might be kind of fun to show you just how many big cargo ships are out here that we're going to have to avoid. So turn the camera around. There's our dedicated display. Yeah, all those little gray boxes, those are ships. There are, let's see, 169 targets out there, and that's a whole lot of ships moving in the ocean. I think that is the most that we've seen since Panama and the Canal, probably. Having that many ships in one location offered some pretty amazing ship watching opportunities. How's it going up here, babe?
Good. So far, so good.
That is a massive ship over on the horizon.
Yes. So our AIS usually gives length in feet, but this one is given in 0.2 miles long.
That is pretty crazy.
It's pretty big, but we had to Google the new Panamax size, and that is 150 feet smaller than the new Panamax.
And
so, still pretty big, but not like massive for a shipping boat.
not the massive ones. Out here there are big ships, and then there are big ships. That's one of my favorite ships out at sea, the Ro-Ros, roll-on, roll-offs. taken, it kind of looked like pregnant whales, but there's a whole lot of cars in that ship. In addition to worrying about all of these big ships, we also have to worry about all this crap that's still in the water. As we were coming up the coast of Indonesia the last couple jumps, we did wrap our props in a few things, and there's still these huge clumps of seaweed out here, and there is just a whole bunch of crap in them, fishing nets, plastic, all kinds of nastiness. So we're slaloming, trying to avoid as much stuff as we can, logs as well, so that's always fun. And still on the Indonesian side of things, making good progress though. Current is against us, but this is why we upgraded to the 55 horsepower engines. We can kind of power through, and Singapore is getting closer and closer. We always say plans while cruising are written in the sand at low tide, so flexibility is key. When we saw a gap in traffic, it was time to be flexible. You making the turn, babe?
Yes, I am.
Time to be a little nervous.
Very exciting, but we have a gap in the eastbound traffic right now. I actually don't see any ships for 10 miles? 4 miles. And then there looks like a gap coming up on the westbound traffic too. So we're gonna thread the needle.
Mosey.
And yeah, head right. I can see the Marina Bay Sands Hotel right there.
It's kind of cool finally starting to see some of those big buildings, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's a very recognizable building.
True.
So hard to miss. But yeah, and we've got the Anchorage area over here in the northeast corridor. So there's probably 50 shipping boats anchored right there, but they're not moving, so that's cool.
Yeah. And how about the wind angle? Since we're turning, are we gonna be able to get a sail out?
We're at 35 right now, and I'm gonna bump us up another 20, so we'll be at about 50.
Yeah, we can do a real close hold maybe. A little bit of an extra burst.
Yeah, as long as I have an extra pair of eyes to help me check out my blind spot.
I'm on duty, Admiral.
Alrighty. Alright.
We're sailing-ish, motor sailing.
Gave us about a half a knot boost. Good job.
I'll take it. Anything to get across the channel faster.
Yep.
Logically, looking at our chart plotter, the AIS targets, and calculating distances, I knew that we would be able to make it. But standing outside, watching those big ships bear down on you at double-digit speeds was still a nerve-wracking experience. This is just so gnarly to me that we are crossing the Singapore Straits right now. When we lived in Kemah, outside Houston, and we sailed a bunch in Galveston Bay, we crossed the Houston Ship Channel quite a few times, and that's a pretty busy shipping channel, but it is nothing like this. There's just ships everywhere, and yeah, there's, I don't know if you can see right about there, there's a ship coming straight at us. We've got them on AIS, so we can see that we're gonna pass in front of them. And having the sail out is helping. We've got a bit of a boost, but it's just a little disconcerting. And I think I'm gonna be a little happier once we get all the way across the channel. Looks like we've got one guy who's giving us a bit of a tricky situation, huh?
Well, it's not too bad. So like we were basically coming up to a T-bone, and he was gonna pass. He was gonna pass behind us by like 800 feet, which is close. So we have now turned to go basically with the flow of traffic now that we're on the north side of the strait, and he's gonna pass behind us by 0.3 miles instead. So we'll just keep maintaining our course and yeah, chug
Beat him
along.
to the point, huh?
Yeah, basically.
In busy situations like this, it's important to know your coal regs. We had dropped our sail to clarify we were a vessel under power. The ship was to our starboard, meaning they were the stand-on vessel, so we made an obvious maneuver to avoid a potential collision. Next ship dodging scenario, what's going on?
Yes.
The radio's just blown up today.
So, that ship is passing behind us. Now, we've got a ship right here that is headed with us, planning to pass behind at 0.3 nautical miles away in about 8 minutes. But there's a ship in front of us coming at us, and that one is going to be a lot closer. So what I'm going to do this time is I need to avoid that guy ahead of me and avoid this guy, so I'm going to duck to the starboard and pass behind this guy. So hopefully that should clean it all up for us.
Hard to starboard, eh?
Hard to starboard.
This situation was a tricky one, as AIS was showing us barely passing port to port with the ship coming towards us, but with the heading of the ship behind us, it was too close to a potential Starry Horizons sandwich for our liking. We'd also been told that in these high traffic situations, the large ships may filter out Class B AIS targets, so while we could see them, we couldn't necessarily count on them seeing us. What's up now?
My plan worked. That ship is passing in front of us, and the one that I was worried about coming directly at us is going to pass behind us by a nautical mile. But our AIS is really unhappy with me because I'm headed right towards the anchorage, and it thinks that I'm going to crash into all these anchored boats here.
Crazy woman driver!
Exactly. So, yeah, we have to listen to the annoying alarm. Oh, or it just went off. There it goes again.
You
So
spoke too soon.
We have to listen to that until I make the turn again, which is like 10 seconds away. So,
Okay, so we can survive for a little bit.
yes.
It appears as though we have relatively safely made it across the Singapore Straits.
Knock on wood. Hopefully we're not speaking too soon, but
We across the main channel, and we didn't get run down. No one called on the radio to yell at us, so I think that's a good victory right there.
yeah.
And what's next?
So next we are headed to the,
Quarantine zone?
there's like a fancy acronym for it, and I don't remember, but it's the Western Quarantine Zone.
Aha.
Yeah, sorry. And yeah, apparently there's just like 2 customs immigration boats that wait for people to show up at this area, and they will board us, and we'll give them the paperwork, and we will sign things, and they'll stamp our passports, and then
Into Singapore, huh?
into Singapore.
Yeah, so we've almost forgotten what it's like to clear a new country, so gonna have to remember real fast.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, we'd spent 3.5 months in Indonesia and then 7 months in Australia. So that's a long time for only 2 countries.
Yeah, that's gonna change soon.
Yeah.
Fortunately, there was one very important part of the quarantine process I hadn't forgotten. Since we are almost to the quarantine area, time to go put the Q flag up. So I'm gonna go do that before we, officially in the spot we need to be quarantined. With the Q flag up, we made our way to the quarantine zone and were quickly approached by the customs boat. To our surprise, they didn't actually board us, which led to a slight mistake on my part. We're already cleared in.
That has to be the fastest clearing in process we have ever had.
That was kind of ridiculous. I was not expecting that.
And it would have taken half the time if we'd signed our documents beforehand.
Well, I was expecting them to get on the boat, and usually we've had agents tell us don't sign until we're here to witness.
Yeah, they didn't step aboard at all. We literally got the customs boat and our boat next to each other. We handed over paperwork, separated for like 30 seconds, got back together, signed documents, and then passed back stuff, and we're done.
Well, babe, thank you for doing the agent stuff beforehand. I think that made the difference, because poor Samara's still out there.
Yeah, well, they're taking off now, so. But we are head to the marina.
And I get to go put the flag up.
We get to go put the flag up. And yeah, very exciting.
Welcome to Singapore.
Yay! Good job, Team Alton.
Raising the flag is one of my favorite parts about clearing into a new country. Since all the formalities were finished, we headed straight into 115 Marina, where Starry Horizons would be living it up with the big boys. It looks like we're safely tied in a marina behind you.
We're in the big city, baby.
Not only are we in the big city, but we're in the swanky McSwankies here, aren't we?
We are. The boat next to us is crazy.
Yeah, they put us on Super Yacht Row. I mean, they must have known how awesome we are, clearly.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of fancy boats here. And the one next to us is like a uber modern crazy thing. Yeah, so we're tucked in the little corner of Super Yacht Row and we got in just fine. With the exception of a little boo-boo up at the helm.
One slight casualty, huh?
Guys, these are the sacrifices we make to make videos. Because when our tripod falls over.
In huge wakes.
And knocks a chunk of fiberglass out of the boat.
Does not make me a happy camper.
No, poor David.
Yeah. Oh well, something else to add to the boat fix it list. But
shockingly, the camera survived just fine.
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah, because that would be harder to deal without having.
And so overall impressions crossing the Singapore Strait, a little stressful?
You know, it wasn't as bad as I thought. Like that window we had to get across was really big.
Yeah, we saw it and just went for it. I think that was the key.
Yeah, so I think it was good. We did have a wicked current pulling into the marina here.
Yeah, you were almost going sideways.
We were pretty much going sideways, yeah. So I had to really gun it to get in. But yeah.
Admiral Amy, champion drifter.
Yeah, I'm very pleased with my docking. You know, there's a mooring ball, like I'm looking right down our starboard side, and there's a mooring ball right there. So I managed to maneuver around it and get in carefully.
Time to go visit the marina and enjoy Singapore.
Check out the marina office and all of our amenities here.
Sweet. Everyone, we made it.
We did. Thanks for watching, guys.
We wouldn't spend too much time in Singapore. Just enough to do some boat projects and pick up Amy's cousin Sarah. Together, we did a few touristy things around town, including trying out a Michelin-starred hawker stand before setting out for our next passage up the Malacca Straits. Hey y'all, thank you so much for checking out our mad dash across to Singapore. It was a little nerve-wracking, as I mentioned, but Amy did an awesome job navigating us through, made it. Only a slight bump and bruise, I suppose, but Singapore was awesome, and then coming up the Malacca Straits, lots more ships around there too, so make sure you stick around, check that out. We'll see y'all next time.